Low-quality fans of a high-quality Bruins team, that is a dub! It's mostly a dub. R.I.P. Vladdy Daddy. Real quick, huge shout out to Marissa. I'm going to link her Twitter below. Give her a follow. She's super fun. She makes all sorts of player videos and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. She made the logo for me that you just saw pop up. Guys, she's the bomb. Check her out. No saucy video to start this one, unfortunately, because I'm on a little bit of a time constraint this week. I wanted to get a video out yesterday, but we have some more insight onto a couple things waiting the extra 24 hours. So let's talk about the craziest day one of free agency the Bruins have had in quite a while. This was a weird one. Like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. Now, I know that a lot of people who watch this channel do come to it for information. There are going to be names that they probably heard that we picked up in free agency, and they're like, huh? Because these are bottom six guys on teams on the West Coast, and you go, okay, I'm not up for those games. I don't watch those all the time. I get it. I'm here to explain to you who all of these guys are, what role they're going to fill, and why this was actually a really good start to free agency, and why there is still a little problem heading our way. First of all, we prioritized depth offensively. We did not go the route of a big star name, which I didn't think was the appropriate move anyway. I did want Garland, but that's a whole nother story. We got outpriced on that one. We did not go the route of bolstering the defense, although we did make 1.5 moves there. And let's start there. Mike Riley, you've come to know and love him. He re-signed with us, 3 for 3. And now this was actually before free agency began. $3 million AAV over 3 years. I thought on the open market he would get 4.5 plus. This is an awesome signing for us. He's a great puck mover. Yes, he has his issues defensively, but when he's locked in with a guy like Carlo or Forbert, we're going to get there. That should still cover him to take those chances. Riley is always going to be a guy that makes those mistakes at times where he jumps into a play and we pay for it on the other end. That's going to happen. Every player has certain weaknesses. That's his. I love this signing. It's cheap. It's for a few years. It seems like the Bruins have really paid attention to what their timeline is, and they're going to, in probably 2 years, reevaluate where the team is and be ready to offload a ton of cap and keep your main pieces and retool. That's what a lot of these deals are going to look like. But the deal for Riley is only 3 years at a good cap hit, and it's a position we really needed to fill. I thought we were going to be outpriced for Riley. That's a top 4, preferably in your bottom pair, but looking at our roster, top 4 defenseman on the left side. We needed that. I don't need to spend too much time on Riley because a lot of you have already watched him, obviously. But 31 assists and 0 goals last year. People will harp on the goals thing. Guys, that's not really his game. He places the puck, gets the puck to the net. He'll get a couple this year, I guarantee that. He just doesn't really get the bounces, but he does get the puck through to the net. And oftentimes they result on another player's stick right in front of the goalie. This is a huge signing for us, and it should not go underrated by any means. Pay attention to that one. That's a good one. Now, there's 2 players that we overpaid for, and Forbert is one of them. Forbort. This is such a hard name for me to say for some reason because my brain's dumb. Forbert is a big, sturdy defensive defenseman who not only does not exist in the offensive zone, but he kind of takes away from your offensive game. Kind of a negative there. 3 for 3 again, $3 million AAV over 3 years. That is an overpayment for such a defenseman. When you look around the league, though, and the deals for Seth Jones, which is not a comparable, but Werenski and Hamilton and McCarr, all these high-end guys, and up in the 9.5s, it is a trickle-down economics effect where now your middling guys are all getting 6 and 7, and you're kind of like, their third pairing are getting 3 and 4. Yes, this is an overpayment. Yes, I'm not going to love him from a hockey standpoint, but he throws the body well. He's gonna kill a lot of time on penalty kills. He was a sheltered defensive defenseman on the Jets last year in a terrible defensive system. I'm not banking on him being very good, if I'm going to be honest. But he does fill a third pairing need. He's going to eat up penalty time, which we need now that we've lost Lauzon. Him and Carlo can create a lot of size in front of that net during PKs. Our penalty kills should be pretty good next year, if they stay healthy. It is kind of funny that we lose Lauzon, and then we get a guy who's basically what Lauzon will be, right? He's an improved version of Lauzon just by using his size. He's knowledgeable about where to be defensively. Lauzon could never really get the puck through offensively either, so I mean, it feels like a lateral move, but it fills the need. But that's all we signed on defense so far. We're going to have a conversation about that. But let's move to the offense, and I'm going to start with the other guy that is an overpayment. Nick Foligno decided to sign with the Boston Bruins. He cited that his daughter had a life-saving surgery at the Boston Children's Hospital. Shout out to them. If you donate to them, I don't know. They're awesome. Great people. They do great stuff. I did kind of find, I was like, oh, all right, that's a reason, I guess, to sign with the hockey team. But he loves the city. And how awesome is it that you hear all of these players, and I know they have to say it to a certain degree, but these players chose to come to Boston. And they all are so excited about it here. It feels like it's a place that free agents want to go. And I don't know if we get a lot of that in our other major teams. I really don't think that the Celtics are a welcoming spot right now. The Patriots, probably not. I mean, it's just nice to see that big free agents want to come here. The Red Sox, yes, but the Red Sox have to pay out the ass like every baseball team does. More importantly, this guy is a bulldog on the ice. He has a high hockey IQ. He can play pretty much any position. He is going to help us. Foligno comes in for 2 years. 3.8. That's a lot of money for likely a third liner. Now, if Krejci doesn't come back, there's another conversation to be had about him bumping up. But that third line is now going to have an identity. The biggest reason it's an overpayment is he's taking steps back year after year, it seems. That's not my biggest issue. I think he'll be able to shape into that third line role well. If he has to bump up to the second line, I'm worried about that. But 21 points in 53 games. Like I said, a high hockey IQ. If he can stay healthy, stay on that third line with Coyle and Haula, which we're going to get to, that third line now has an identity of speed and force. It's going to be a different look, and that should pay dividends for us. Which moves us to Haula on the left side or the center. I'm not really sure where he's going to line up yet. He has been pretty good at the dot, so we'll see. This guy brings some scoring pop to that third line. 25 points in 57 games, including 4 in 6 playoff games against the Carolina Hurricanes. He has a little bit of grit to his game. He's a little nasty at times, and he can fly. This guy, again, it's a 2-year deal, 2.37 AAV. This is going to really transform our third line into something that can be feared. Our bottom 6 killed us last year. And now, if DK comes back, we have 2 top lines that can match up with virtually any top line in the league. Not all of them, but most of them. And then we have a third line that can match up with a lot of seconds if Coyle gets back on his game. There's ifs. There's ifs. There's always going to be ifs. But these are good signings. And I'm really excited about their short signings. If Haula forces Coyle to the wing, that's something to celebrate. Simplify Coyle's game, get him back on his possession bullshit, and watch this third line just suffocate whoever they're up against. But what about that fourth line? One change on the fourth line. It's Thomas Nosek. He is actually a tweener, third to fourth line. He'll probably be used at the fourth. He gets a 2-year deal at 1.7 AAV. And he has some scoring upside to him. 19 points in 44 games. Bottom 6 is coming into form, guys. It's coming into form. With him, Lazar, who we already took to, we like. And then probably Freddie on that left side. That fourth line now has a new identity. They are hard-nosed guys. They're not afraid to block shots. And with Nosek, there might be a little more scoring pop to it. The occasional goal, which helps tremendously. So for people currently on the roster, the prediction would be Marshy, Bergie, Pasta, top line, right? Then you've got Hall. I'm putting Studnicka in there because Krejci's not back yet. Yeah, I'm higher on Studnicka than most of you. That's fine. I can say that. I can do that. And then, of course, Smith. And then on that third line, Howla, Coyle, Foligno. Ooh, that's a possession line right there. And then the fourth, Frederick, Lazar, Nosek. You'll notice I moved one guy up into the lineup. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think there's going to be a few of them who are fighting for time. But these signings do make it more difficult for guys on the offensive end to make that next jump. Studnicka's going to have a harder time if DK signs back up. He's going to get his shot, though. But you're not going to sign these free agents and just toss them down into the AHL. It's just not going to happen. Now, we expect injuries, of course. Lauko should get a chance. Cameron Hughes, Oscar Steen, these guys should get grinding minutes. Lauko's more of a scoring forward. He's got that high upside, so see him on the middle six, hopefully. Studnicka, I really think, is going to make a big push. But these signings make it a little more difficult. It also points out that Kasha and Richie, they're not coming back. We are down to $1 million of cap space. That's it. We'll talk a little bit about that. But Kasha is actually the bigger bummer for me. I wanted to see him run it back and get some healthy time. If he's not going to play for us, I hope he retires because I just want him to be healthy and happy. That poor guy. Oh, and then Richie, I was out on start of last season. Had to eat crow for about a month and then was out on for the rest of the season. That's fine. 7th player award, kind of ironic, but come on. He did not pass the eye test. He didn't do anything in the back half of the year. It's likely he's not coming back. Not signing more on the defensive end, though, leaves the door open for guys like Zaboral, Vakanainen, John Moore. We're obviously going to see, I think Brady Lyle make a push. Jack Ashawn should make a push. These guys are going to get chances, and one of them might stick. It'll be a really interesting year for us on the defensive end. Which brings us to the goalie situation. The biggest free agent signing of the day. Linus Ullmark from the Buffalo Sabres. I'm seeing a lot of mixed reviews about Ullmark, and I'm going to settle this right now. This is a great get. 4 years, $5 million. That's kind of starter money, isn't it? Here's the thing. This fan base would crucify Don Sweeney for sitting on his hands waiting for Rask. For getting a guy who could not play meaningful minutes in hopes that Rask returns to form after hip surgery and being out for 6 months. I still think Rask is coming back. The presser that Don Sweeney had explained that they're not rushing Rask because we can sign him whenever we need to before the trade deadline because he's only going to play for the Bruins. And he's had meaningful conversations with Krejci, but Krejci has his reasons for not making the decision yet. That's a man's decision right there. You got to let him do what he needs to do. Don Sweeney cannot sit on his hands. So he went out and got a goalie and had to pay the price of a starting goalie who can play meaningful minutes. This guy, although has a little injury history, put up serious numbers for a Sabres team that was getting shellacked. He has a .922 save percentage at even strength last year. That's pretty good. He has not posted below a .905. Now, .905 is not great, obviously, but he has not posted under a .905 in any season with the Buffalo Sabres. That's pretty good. The guy is a really good goalie. This money is less than he was getting offered by other teams. The term, less than he was getting offered by other teams. This is an awesome deal. And I am so shocked to see the amount of people who are upset about it. And then I remind myself, okay, well, maybe they didn't watch him play, right? Maybe some of you guys who are really out on the deal didn't get to see him a lot. Take a look at his stats. They're great. Go watch a little bit of tape on him. You're going to be really impressed. Don't crucify him off the bat if he has a tough first week or two. The guy's a good goalie, and I'm really excited about what he's going to bring. Now, there are some people saying, well, that's a lot of years if you know you got Swayman. Swayman played less than 20 games, and he was incredible. But We cannot put the pressure of the entire franchise on this kid's shoulders yet. It's way too soon. And you're ignoring the potential of disrupting his progress by putting too much on him too quickly, which we've seen happen with goalies. In 3 years' time, when we have to sign him, he has 2 more years on his entry-level contract. When we have to sign him, we will be paying Ullmark $5 million, and Swayman will ask for whatever he's worth at that point. If we're under double digits, awesome. If we have to move a goalie, that's a good problem to have. I just don't understand the negativity here. People saying they'd rather have the cap space. I'd rather have a goalie, right? And this is not a knock on Rask. I love Rask. I need him to be back. I'm excited about that. But I'm not risking next year's cup in case he doesn't come back. We are in win now mode. We ate up all our cap. So now here's the move. DeBrusk gets traded. You'll notice I did not mention him when I went through our lines. DeBrusk will be traded. Hopefully with the John Moore contract as well. Potentially with the Chris Wagner contract. Chris Wagner is easier to bury in the AHL. The issue is obviously that we lose DeBrusk. And I think he was going to have a bounce back here. Hoping. But we will move him for more help on the defensive end and for a little bump in cap space to potentially get Krejci back. Without Krejci, this whole team looks a lot different unless Studnicka is ready to make a massive jump forward. I am high on Studnicka. That's risky. That's risky. I glossed over this earlier. Vladdy Daddy, Darth Vladar. He is traded to the Calgary Flames for a 3rd-round pick. That's fair value. He played a handful of games at the NHL level. His ceiling seems to be consensus, a league backup, and his floor seems to be a tweener between the league and the AHL. I'm not tore up. I loved his name. I loved the guy. He's an awesome kid. He did not fit the next step. I don't think he had the potential to be the guy in net. And having a veteran backup behind Swayman in 5 or 6 years is kind of the move at this point, I think. Quick note on the other signings. Steven Fogarty, Samuel Asselin, Tyler Lewington, Troy Grosnick. All AHL depth signings. There's a prospect stuff in there. Don't expect to see really anything from those guys this year. You might never see them, honestly. All in all, guys, I know this is kind of a lower energy video. I just want to talk about what we did over the past couple days. This is exciting. We now have 4 lines that have a chance to score, which did not feel like that last year, and should be a pain to play against. This is a huge step up for our team. The team got better. Be excited about that. You can be worried about the Krejci situation. We got to see some things unravel. We have more moves to make. But be excited about the moves. Be excited about the vision that Sweeney has. See a lot of people that are like, it's hard to see where Sweeney's going with this. He's going for depth. He's going for 4 lines to roll. He's going for the 2018 team where no matter what line was out there, you kind of felt confident about the result. Hopefully we could get back there. And I think these moves do a lot to do that. All right, guys, that does it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. It's a weird video. Very calm. Just kind of talking about these picks. The lighting's weird. It's all a mess. But thank you for coming by. Go Bees.